nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, could you at this time let the roll show that all commissioners are present for this committee meeting? And now we'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, motion and second discussion. I'd like to add a motion, item H to the Finance Administrative Committee. This would be for approval of refilling of a part-time vacancy for the Deputy County Treasurer's Office. I'll do that whole thing then. So, okay.
Is there any other additions?
Support.
So we have the motion.
Yeah.
She supported the first time amendment. Both supported.
Thank you.
We are good.
We are supported.
Very supported. Anything else? Okay, very good. Any discussion, further discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor of approving it, moving forward with it, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda is approved. And now we'll move into our public comment section. We will start with Mrs. Paula Brooks regarding ARPA funding of the courthouse from Durham, Michigan.
Hello, Paula Brooks. Apparently there's been a technical glitch on your website as I still can't find the dollar figures as to how the county ARPA money has been spent to date. Vernon Township allocated this year's portion on Monday evening, and even the city of Flint has now announced a budget as to how their dollars will be spent. And it's been well documented in the media as to the amount to be spent on the courthouse restoration in the next few months. What hasn't been stated is where the projected $4 to $6 million will come from to complete the courthouse renovation. Will this be from next year's ARPA allocation? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up will be Mr. Ken McDonough from Durham, Michigan as well.
Good afternoon. I can't make tomorrow's meeting because I have pre-engagement, but I'm going to make a statement. I woke up this morning thinking what a fine day it was going to be, until a little bit after 11 o'clock when the Argus Press published online. It's another fine mess our county's gotten into corruption, favoritism. It never stops. This towing scandal will certainly bring the feds in, and I'm concerned for the county and how many lawyers and how much money might this one cost the taxpayers to Shiawassee County, and how many more are waiting to be filed against the county. Michigan Municipal League has already placed the county in a high risk pool. That means a great cash out to pay for a lawyer. Definitely the county in these suits. According to the board chair, the county's already in direct finance. Yet lawsuit after lawsuit, cover up after very bad leadership. I'm running for commissioner because of the mess the county is in. And most of you contribute to this. The ARPA money, everywhere I go in the state of Michigan, they talk about Shiawassee County with the bonuses. It goes on and on. I plan on debating any of you candidates anywhere, anytime. I know certain individuals made phone calls to some people in the city to have them run against me. Go for it. I'm ready for the game. The games are going to begin. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. McDonough.
Yep.
Is there anyone else at this time that would like to address this committee? Hearing none, we'll move into our committee motions and reports. We'll turn the floor to Commissioner John Plowman for our Finance Administrative Committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to approve the contract with SRESD for technology support for 2 years at $118,500 per year and authorize the board chair to execute the same.
Support.
Item A has been moved and supported. Is there any questions or discussions regarding this item?
I would just say, generally, not necessarily related to this, for all the people who are here tonight, this is our third night of meeting, and we've discussed all of these things. We were here 2.5 hours Monday night discussing the agenda items. So when you hear us kind of move through quickly, if you want to know what the discussion is behind that, you can listen to the committees from Monday and Tuesday night.
Hearing none, all in favor of moving item A forward onto a final vote tomorrow, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry.
I move to authorize the sheriff to hire 2 new sheriff deputies per the terms outlined in the contract between Shiawassee County and the Teamsters.
Support.
We have the item B moved and supported. Take a pick on which one. Questions or discussion regarding this item? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of moving item B forward onto a final vote tomorrow, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
I move to approve the construction of a 100-foot by 60-foot pole barn in an amount not to exceed $225,000.
Support.
Item C moved and supported. Questions or discussion regarding this item?
Chairman,
Yes.
just want to reiterate my opposition to it. I think with the courthouse numbers not having come in, with the fact that we have some roofs to replace, not knowing how far we can stretch the ARPA dollars to pay for all of this, I think it is unwise at this time. I recommend my fellow board members would put this off for a year anyway, and perhaps look at it next year.
I'd like to concur, not that I'm in opposition to a pole barn, but I'd like to get some numbers from the courthouse and the roofs and some other information first before we push it forward.
Anybody else? Seems like a tough time to build anything right now, the way the economy is and building materials being so high, for sure. Understood. All right, with that, all in favor of moving item C on for a final vote tomorrow, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Madam, would you please call roll? I could not, I can tell.
That is
Nope,
finance
I couldn't
item
tell you either.
C. Okay. Commissioner Webster.
No.
Commissioner Holzhausen.
Yes.
Commissioner Howard.
No.
Commissioner Garber.
Yes.
Commissioner Marks.
No.
Commissioner Plowman.
Yes.
Sorry. Commissioner Plowman, yes. And Chairman Broder.
No.
Madam
So it
Clerk?
fails.
Yep, that item will not move on for a final vote tomorrow. All right, moving on to item B, thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to approve the purchase of a pit toilet and handicap parking for Chi-Town West Park not to exceed $12,000.
Support.
Item D moved and supported. Questions or discussion regarding this item? Hearing none, all in favor, moving it forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
I move to approve adding 3 handicap parking spaces at Chi-Town East Park not to exceed $5,000.
Support.
Item E moved and supported. Questions or discussion?
Can we just have clarification again? I know we talked about this, where this money is coming from.
So this will come from the parks budget, and anything that's not in the parks budget will come from the waste management money that has been donated. This will not come from any ARPA funding,
Or from the general fund.
or from the general. No, it will not come from the general.
And waste management money that's been donated for the park specifically.
That's correct. So I think it's every year, Waste Management provides us with a donation to be used to enhance the parks. And so this funding is gonna go to that purpose.
And a member of that company sits on the Parks Board. So.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, regarding item E, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
I move to approve the spraying of all invasive species of phragmites in the parks not to exceed $5,000.
Support.
Item F moved and supported. Questions or discussion regarding the item?
It's Phragmites.
Phragmites, yeah, that's right. IES.
Nasty stuff. Very good to get rid of. It's
Yep.
take over the park if we let it.
Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of moving item F on to a final vote tomorrow, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I move to approve the engineering for a footbridge at Chi-Town Park not to exceed $7,000.
Support?
Item G moved and supported. Questions or discussion?
I would just note, Commissioner Plowman mentioned that this is for the engineering cost for a grant application. The state will not consider any of these grants without the engineering already being done ahead of time and paid for. So it is an investment to see whether or not you will get the grant, but you can't get the grant without having done the engineering on the project.
And then our master plan will be completed by the end of the year, which is due in February for the Parks and Rec, and this will be part of it.
But again, those grant funds from the state are our tax dollars, and I mean, I'd love to have a bridge out there, but that's a lot of money.
I know.
If we don't
Whether
move
it
forward,
comes, it's still coming from us.
It does, but it'll go,
You know.
somewhere else, not here, you know what I mean? So
Maybe.
It is nice to try to fight for Shiawassee County in some ways. 'Cause they're
$7,000.
gonna spend that money.
Right, but if they don't pick us, then we're out $7,000.
That's true.
Well, I have the stuff to do.
We could kayak across the river.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none. Item G, all in favor of moving it forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion will carry with 2 nays, Madam Clerk.
Okay, moving on to item H. I move to approve the refilling of a part-time vacancy for County Treasurer Department. It's a level 2, or County Treasurer 2, at a level 4 on a salary scale, and the scale is between $27,800 and $33,041.
Support.
To be clear, let the record reflect this $27,008. Weird number.
Oh, I said
That's okay.
27,
Yeah,
no,
that's all right.
$8.
Just want to make sure that's right on the record.
It's just refilling a vacancy, right?
Yes.
So,
That's all it is.
Yes.
But if we say that, then someone can come in and say, well, they said 800. That's the minimum.
Julie had mentioned this earlier in the week, that a part-time clerk was leaving, and so she has requested this. It wasn't in time for the agenda item, so now it comes to you today if you wish to add it, so that she may post it for her person leaves.
Good. Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none. The added item H. All in favor of moving this on to a final vote tomorrow, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? That motion will carry. Be added to tomorrow's agenda.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Plowman. At this time, we'll move into our Econ and Physical Development Committee report. Mr. Chairman Broder, would you read those for me?
I certainly will. Move that we accept and place on file the annual Dell 4046.
So moved.
Item A moved and supported. Questions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of moving it forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Approve the creation of a split position between the grade office and buildings and grounds.
Support.
Item B moved and supported. Questions or discussion?
Tony is here if he has any additional comments as well.
my comment would be, not so much Tony's department, but if we've got 7 full-time equivalent people in buildings and grounds, I would be hard pressed to add to that.
This is something that was budgeted for at the beginning of the year.
This is not something that was budgeted for, but you may have changes in staff shortly.
I see. So this is possibly just a refill, so we're not shorthanded for a time.
Yes, for the summer.
Any other questions or discussion regarding this item?
Well, I would like to see a little more work in buildings and grounds from someone besides Tim. So that's my thought. I think 7 full-time people is a lot. I don't know, as far as the drain commission, maybe Tony can add to that, but
Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Yeah, we've got plenty of work, no doubt about that. And I think, I don't know if it was there when Jerry was in there too, but they used to have another person in the drain office, they call it, so, And at that time, we used to get, crews out here from, they used to come from the jail, and then they used to come from the, over here on Delaney Road, or off of Delaney Road on, I can't remember where it was from, it's where they do the recycling now, but they used to send crews out too, we used to cut brush mainly in the wintertime when you had the chance, and that's what this guy did. He's been on it with us for a temporary, 3 months, 4 months, and we've used them all so far. I mean, our work is getting where it's cramped because a lot lot of the tile repairs that we do and stuff, the farmers got such big equipment, you know, I mean, once it's dry, they got the fields planted, you know. I mean, we went into, 3 different times, we went into crops to fix tile fields, you know, we had no choice, the farmers didn't do it, so. I mean, we do have a lot of work, we could use them, you know. We just wanted to make it available, like if Tim had some people off or something, that we could still be able to share. And for 3 years, he's not gonna take the insurance, he's out of his mind, he has insurance yet, so he's 26.
Any other questions? Will we have the Drain Commissioner with us?
Well, I'm glad, Tony, I'm glad you brought that up, because at first I couldn't remember Delaney Road, but I remember,
Yeah.
Mr. Norder in my district used to be on that crew, and that was a neat program.
You know,
Too bad we couldn't do that again.
I know, we'd like, we got a lot of brush.
Yeah, that's been a while.
Yeah.
Just a little comment on what Commissioner Garber said. I have no idea what a reasonable range of people for a county our size, how rural it is, or how all of the different factors that go into. I have no way of determining it. I only at this point have to say I have to trust Tim and Dr. Boggs. They say this is needed. I don't have any grounds on which to disagree with that. So I'm going to be in favor of it.
You don't think it's a tough time to add positions?
I do. But again, I'm certainly not in a position to say, well, we don't need that. I definitely know we need the saw guy. We, our drains are, we better keep our drains open. So that's going to be half of it. Again, I'm not even disagreeing with you. I'm just admitting, I don't know.
I'd like to know.
Any other commissioner discussion? All right, hearing none. All in favor of moving item B under Econ and Fiscal Development Committee meeting onto a final vote tomorrow, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
Aye.
One nay, Madam Clerk, and that motion will pass. And also thank you for reading our report, Mr. Chairman. And with that, we'll move into our Public Safety and Courts Committee, Commissioner Webster's report.
I move to approve the bid award of funding to the 8 county security members in an amount not to exceed $8,000.
Support.
Item A moved and supported. Questions or discussion?
Dr. Boggs, could you briefly say what this is again?
So during COVID, the state provided HEROES money, which was $1,000 to 911 employees, the Sheriff's Department, and the corrections officers. It did not include 8 of our individuals that work in court security that are deputized police. In most other counties, that's usually an outsourced function, and it's a function that's employed by security guards. They have felt left out of this because of their certification and their history with us. Also the fact that they were there the entire time. They were actually individuals seeing the frontline people as they went in and out of the courthouse. So they were missed. The sheriff asked that this be corrected because they didn't qualify for the HEROES money. But then again, it is an oddity in that we have deputized police officers that serve in that capacity, and we're very lucky to have that, and other counties do not.
If I may.
Yes, absolutely.
This is one of those when I was on, years ago when I was on the school board, if you opposed anything that pretty much was wanted to do, it must be because you hate children. Obviously, I think the world of our security people over there. I was in favor of giving them the raise. Back way then I was in favor of giving them the bonus, and so on. And one of the things about all the COVID money flying around, there have been so many unfairnesses. Certain people have gotten bonuses, certain haven't. Certain people have gotten lots of unemployment. Other people didn't get any. All sorts of things. And as much as I sympathize with the unfairness that they weren't included by the state, not us, we didn't cut them out of this. We just don't think we're.
Court security didn't technically qualify.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
and that wasn't our doing. And an $8,000 salve for their feeling. They did get their raise, they did get the bonus that we had control of and we gave to employees. there's lots of unfairnesses, and if we start to try to correct everyone, it's never ending. So I feel bad, but I have to oppose this.
I would disagree with you because they are there. They're a tough position to fill. And if you don't have retired deputies there, you cannot find any more retired deputies. You're gonna have to go to a court security company and it's gonna cost a lot more than $8,000.
Yes.
I'm in favor of it, but I want to speak to your comment, Dr. Boggs, when you said they were there on the front lines, and yes, they were, and that's why I'm in favor of it. But I would like to also recognize that our county clerk, our county treasurer,
Yes.
our register of deeds, our elected officials were also there. So if we want to talk about unfairness, that's unfair. So, that's it.
Any other discussion regarding this item? Hearing none. All in favor of moving it forward onto a final vote tomorrow signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Aye.
That motion will carry with 2 nays, Madam Clerk.
Which is Commissioner Webster and Broder.
Now on to item B.
I move to approve the replacement of a juvenile caseworker.
Support.
Item B moved and supported. Questions or discussion regarding this item? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I move to approve the contract between Monroe County and Shiawassee County for youth treatment.
Support.
Item C moved and supported. I think I heard Plowman first, no second. Questions or discussion? Did we get all our questions answered from, was it yesterday? All right, in the case, all in favor of moving it forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I move to approve the contract between Father Flanagan's Boys Home, Boys Town, and Shiawassee County for youth treatment.
Support.
Item D moved and supported. Questions or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I move to approve the invoice from Rave Mobile Safety in an amount not to exceed $9,500.
Support.
Item E moved and supported. Now, I might have heard Mr. Howard come in first, maybe not, but we'll get to him. All right, item E, questions or discussion?
I would just note that we need to increase our enrollment in that.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
And it's being paid for by a Homeland Security grant.
And it is mandatory.
Yes.
You have to have this. It is the cheapest one. But yes, if there was any ways that we could increase awareness, or even folks that are unwilling to give that personal information if they knew, I think they might see an ad and say, oh, you know, I'm probably would be one of them. Well, let's sign up for this, and then they want all this personal information. Guess what? I'm done. I'm moving on.
I don't like it because they bug you when there's like a thunderstorm in the middle. I don't like the weather stuff. That's
Do
why
they?
don't
'Cause
do it.
I-
Yes.
I haven't.
yes,
I
they do.
don't. Only a tornado do I get. Is that you too?
I get the weather. I get the weather.
Did you get thunderstorms too? That would
It's a
It doesn't do that.
And now we see one of the problems with getting people to sign up.
Yeah, you don't want to be.
That's what I hear. Yeah, if I'm sleeping, I don't need to be woke up to know that it's raining out.
Fair. With that, any other questions or discussion regarding item E? All right, hearing none, all in favor of moving it forward onto a final vote tomorrow, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Webster. Now we'll move into our Health and Human Services Committee report. Commissioner Carter.
Thank you. I move that we approve the contract between Shiawassee County Health Department and Shiawassee Regional Education Service District for reflective supervision services for the maternal infant health program in an amount not to exceed $2,835 for the period of July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, and authorize the board chair to sign all necessary documents.
Support.
Item A moved and supported. Questions, discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of moving it forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I move that we approve the contract renewal for Shiawassee County for the Health Department and Shiawassee RESD for technology services for the period of July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2024, and authorize the board chair to sign all necessary documents.
Support.
Item being moved and supported.
Do we have an
Questions?
amount for this? Sorry. I think we
There
had one.
was, yeah,
There is one, and that's for the health department.
was it 75?
It was pointed out by my friend from Woodhull.
75,000.
Yeah,
All right, so we can.
per
add-
year,
We should-
75
we
per
should,
year.
Who made the motion? Do you want to reflect your motion before it's seconded? Include the 75,000?
Yes.
For an amount not to exceed $75,000, 0 cents, Madam Clerk.
75,000, okay.
Do we have a second for that?
That's per year, and they got it for 2
For
years,
2
right?
years.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're holding the same price.
Yeah, holding the same price since the last
Is,
couple of years.
Is it just a 1 year?
2 years.
2
So
years.
it's 2, yeah, so per year.
They haven't raised the price either, according to Larry.
Support. All right, so it has been supported, now we can talk about it. I guess we were just questioning the clarity, so that's allowed. Questions or discussion regarding the item?
Great bargain, great service, can't beat it.
Same price for 4 years.
Yeah. And it's good service.
Yeah.
They do a great job.
Very good, anything else? All right, commissioners, all in favor of moving item B forward to tomorrow, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I move that we adopt the 2021 Health Department Annual Report and place it on file.
Support.
Item C moved and supported, questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of moving it on to tomorrow, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion will carry.
That concludes my report, thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Garber. Mr. Chair, the floor is yours for a report.
Thank you, I don't have very much. We're moving ahead nicely with our land bank work. Let's say it's gonna be slow, but for setting up a new governmental unit, it's moving like lightning. We're doing very well getting our documents together with Russia. We have a great group. Treasurers are very cooperative. So I have high hopes for that. We're looking ahead at some nice development projects. It's a possibility. I understand we're going to have more information fairly soon on veterans. So that'll be available to everyone soon. And obviously, we are continuing to work on the big question mark across the street. I know we had them look at the drone. I don't know if they've done any more with the dome, or if they need to.
You'll find out on Friday at 8:30.
Oh, okay, I have to get out of bed early and go to a meeting on Friday at 8:30 in the middle of the night and find out about that. So again, you'll all know about that fairly soon. Other than that, I've spoken to a couple of you, and I just want to throw this out to think about perhaps one of the months when we don't have a lot on our agenda soon. I might like to talk about whether or not we need to reorganize how we do our meetings. It struck me that our committees, meetings on Monday and Tuesday, are de facto committees of the whole because everyone discusses, it becomes redundant, and we come in here on Wednesday when lots of people show up and the discussion is very truncated because of that. And a couple of you I've talked to just threw out different ideas. I thought it might be nice to have a group discussion. Maybe we'll do nothing, but maybe we'll come up with some ideas for a more efficient way to run the boards, run the meetings. That would be better for everybody. So just have, if you all would think about that, and then we can have a discussion at some point. And the public might have some things to say too about what they'd like to see. That's all I have. Thank you.
Dr. Boggs, coordinator's report, anything?
Yes, just a couple of quick things. So number one, the audit presentation will be tomorrow. We had a little discussion, the clerk and myself. We said Wednesday, but it's supposed to be Thursday. They will be here to present tomorrow. Just as a little preview, we only had one. When I started several years ago, we had 8 findings on a regular basis. We are down to only 1, and it was 1 instance of an overage that wasn't adjusted for. So I think that's a major turnaround in the finances, but you will, or at least the processes for the finances, and you'll get that full report tomorrow. The MERS bonds have been sold, the money has been deposited and wired to MERS, and the allocations have occurred. We'll be talking to you about that 5% later, probably in the month of July. There will probably be a special meeting where the architect from Creekwood, Jeff Brands, will be here to meet with you to discuss the veterans bids for redoing that home and that project, or that facility. And he will be here. We're still waiting on 2 more to come in, and as soon as we get the last 2, we'll have a presentation for the board on that. But we would probably like to have a special meeting to move that along instead of waiting until July, especially as prices continue to change and how long they lock their bids in for. As you noted yesterday, the county will be receiving a $700,000 grant from the Michigan Economic Development Corporation to work on developing the Project TIM site. That does not mean Project TIM itself, but that means the area out in the greater Durand area so that it can be marketed. But that requires surveys, that requires sampling, that requires a lot of different activities out there to even see what can be done with that particular piece of property. The other thing I will note, or lastly, it was discussed that we are in a high-risk category by the MML. Well, that is incorrect on several levels. Number one, we don't use the MML, that's mostly cities. We use MMRMA, which is specifically designed for counties. Number two, it's a self-funded activity, which means it's not like your homeowner's insurance or your car insurance or anything like that where you get put into high-risk categories when you have accidents. And we are receiving a substantial amount of money back as we do from our premiums and our investments this year. It usually averages around $300,000 of a dividend. So just FYI. And that is it.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Vaughn. And with that, we will go ahead and move into our final opportunity for yes. Yes, sir. Didn't see it.
Would you give a ballpark how much we're gonna save with the MERS
Yes.
bonding, roughly?
Yep, about $15 million.
Okay, I just wanted the public to know that, so.
Based on what we did and the changes we made and the payments and rearranging it and where the market was, it's going to be about a $15 million savings over the next 38 years for the payments. One of the principal issues and reasons we did the bonding was because the MERS payments were kind of a balloon style payment. If you remember kind of variable rate mortgages that kind of increase as you go forward depending on market conditions, this was very similar for MERS. And especially because of us catching up on our debt payments. Now it is a flat rate. The overall savings will be about $15 million.
Thanks for that report.
You're welcome.
And I just like, let me add to that. And MERS' ability to handle monies over a long period of time is not been the best. So we decided we needed to do this.
But we're still with MERS.
Yes.
We have not moved. Okay.
No, we wired
This
the
was the,
money to
Right.
MERS.
We actually have
Right.
more money now.
yeah. I didn't want anybody to infer
That'll be a
that
discussion.
from that. I know that we've talked about
Yeah.
doing that, but we have not done
And
that.
quite frankly, we'll be discussing where that money will stay or go.
MERS is very happy to get a wire transfer.
Anything else? Thank you, commissioners. Now the public will get their opportunity, and we'll start off with Mr. Matthew Shepard out of Perry, Michigan. You have the floor, sir.
Well, first I'll start off with, pleased to see that you've chosen, as a board, not to waste another $225,000 on a pole barn that isn't really needed. I don't know where you planned on putting it. Well, a lot of people would love to have a 100 by 60 foot pole barn sitting in their backyard. Mine's only 88 by 55, but anyway. With the financial strife that we have in this county, I think that's a good decision. One of, I hope, many to come. And as far as MERS mishandling money, I think members of this county have done their fair share. We have $30 trillion national debt. We have what, 50 or 60 million debt for the retirement fund? I'm glad you're starting to work on that. That's more burden on the taxpayer. This all ends when we the people say no. And if you'd like to be involved, we're unifying as a public, not just Republican, not just Democrat, but bipartisan, nonpartisan effort for a nationwide rally of at least 10 million people to tell our government that they're tired of what they're doing against the people. If you'd like to ascertain more information, you can go to greatunityrally.com. Our major focus will be to tear down the Dominion system, decertify the stolen election, and make arrangements for arrest of treasonous activity from those individuals that participated not only in the stolen election, but many other aspects of our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shepherd. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board at this time? Hearing none. This meeting is adjourned.